Alright, welcome to Razor's Armory and our reloading series. So let's get reloading.
Okay, now we're going to show the different ways of priming. I've actually got 100 rounds pre-trimmed, ready to go. Brass has been done, everything's done. They're ready for powder, projectile, and crimping. They're ready to go. So I'm just going to demonstrate the priming process. What generally happens, this is a Lee hand priming tool. It came with the Lee, I think it was the classic Lee set. It's a nice little Lee single stage press, a priming system, little Lee powder measure, of course a Lee scale, all that. You know, it came with a nice little amount of stuff. I actually like it. It's kind of a beginner's kit. It's not necessarily a very expensive kit or very much so more precision like some of the other ones, but it's a great little set. It's been working great for me, so that's what I use. But you take these and you put your primers in the tray here. You roll them around till they're all anvil up. And what anvil up means is, let's go ahead and pull one out and give you a little shot of it here. I can do it. Okay. There's a third. What you do is you put them on the tray. And just by giving it a little roll around, they all tend to flip over the right way. And they all go down into this little trough right here. And you can use them one at a time. You can look right down there, there's a little plunger that actually elevates them and lifts them up, and then there's another plunger that elevates them and lifts them into the shell case, into the casing. So what you actually do is take your case, slide it into the shell holder, just like on your press or anything, give it a squeeze, and it elevates a primer from here into there underneath the shell, and then presses it with a squeeze into the bottom of the case. That's how it works on the hand priming tool. And then there you go. Now, it's a little bit different on a press. Some presses are set up differently. Some presses have little fast tracks or whatever. But what you would do with a press is actually set your primer in, anvil up, into that little cup right there. Then slide your shell on, and when you put your shell on, you push down on the handle and it takes the case and forces it down on top of the primer. This is a little spring-loaded guy right here, so it just pushes the primer into the bottom of the case, and that's how that works on the press there. But since I've already got them done, we're gonna skip this step. But that's how that would work. Okay.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and show you. This is the book we've got. This is the 9th edition Hornady. This is the newest edition book they have. There are plenty of other books out there, plenty of other sources for recipes and things like that. Lots of people have their own, just through trial and error of doing it for so many years. This is the one I'm using. I'm using the 556 NATO over here. I'm not going to show you the exact recipe I'm using. I'm not going to tell you how many grains of powder and all that stuff I'm using, but I will tell you that we're using some Hodgdon CFE 223. Got it at Lotham Arms, and we also got some 223 caliber 55 grain bullets here for, it was $11.60 a pound. We've had the, I'm sorry, $11.60 per 100. We've had this box for 8 months or so. I've just been dragging my ass on putting these rounds together. So this is the ones we're going to run. I've got the powder measure set up. I've got the press set up. I've got my cases ready. So basically all I got to do now is run some ammo. So they've been primed and everything, so we're just going to basically charge the case. We're going to pull it out. We're going to put us a bullet on top of it like that. Put it in the press. Run it on up to the die. Press it in place. Pull it on off. That one's ready. Now it's not ready to shoot now. We're still going to have to run it through a crimp die because an AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle. There's too much shaking around in there. If you don't crimp them, the bullets can come loose in the magazine and you'll have powder and projectile and one hell of a malfunction with your firearm. So make sure to crimp them. We'll go ahead and run some of these guys. Easy to do once you've got it all set up and ready to go. Just takes a little bit of time. Now, we'll say that it's a whole lot easier on a large ammo plant like the Hornady ammo plant and all that stuff, but I think if you're going to get into this, you really need to understand the mechanics of loading them one by one before you get into an ammo plant or something like that. Those big monstrosities, they're wonderful machines, but you should definitely get your start on a single stage press, because it just teaches you everything you need to know. You can visually check your case there to see if there's powder in there, which you can see it in there, or I can. It may be hard to show up on video, but recommend boat tails for the 223 since they're so small. If you get a square back bullet, it's going to be hard to start them sometimes. Let me get this a little bit closer to me over here. So, you can actually get quite a bit done once you get yourself into a little rhythm, got your radio going, having a good time. I don't recommend drinking or smoking or anything like that, because open flames around gunpowder is never a good idea. But if you're a type of person that can handle doing this, it's quite rewarding. I'm not going to necessarily say you're going to save money, but you're going to definitely shoot more. But there's nothing at all wrong with that. Nothing at all. I've never really paid attention to how long it takes me to make these or anything like that. I just come out here and enjoy myself. Being left alone with my own thoughts sometimes is kind of nice. Just that simple. Goes along easy peasy. You want to run some?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and show you the finishing steps in the 5.56. What we've done so far is we've cleaned the brass, we've deprimed, we've reshaped, we've measured to make sure everything's correct, we've put new primers in there, now we've put new powder and projectile. Now what we're going to do is put just an ever so slight crimp on the bullet and the casing at the top. What we're going to do is run it up in there and firmly one shot and come back down. And what that's going to do is leave just a slight crease at the top of the round right there, just so the brass holds onto the round. Being a semi-automatic round, if it's bounced around too much in the action or rattling around too much, the pill could actually fall out and create some issues. So all we're doing is lightly crimping that bullet on the end right there for it to hold on. We just go down, and that's basically it. Once these go into this tray here, they're ready to fire. They're brand new rounds, all ready to go. My press is mounted pretty stoutly, but it's still got a little wiggle to it. I don't think you'll ever get it out of any. They all got a little bit of it. But this is basically what we do to make our ammunition. Single stage press takes a little bit longer, but you're definitely hands-on with it all. You're paying attention to what you're doing, giving it a good look, making sure everything's right, everything's at the right length, everything looks good. Looks good to me. Just one at a time. That's the thing with a single stage press. One round at a time. When you get the progressive presses, once you get it staged, every pull of the handle throws you out a new round.